Hi everyone, my name is Primrose Montero de Souza and it's great to have you join us for this Femina Power Brands discussion. We're privileged to have with us Mr. Fredric Widell, Vice President, Head of South Asia and Managing Director, India at Oriflame. Welcome.
Thank you, Primrose.
With a winning attitude and the ability to drive goals and initiatives, Frederic has had a highly successful career of over 12 years with Oriflame. His previous assignments have included the position of Managing Director for 4 different key Oriflame markets, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, India, and Indonesia, as well as being the VP and head in the former Asia Pacific region. Staunchly committed to driving growth at Oriflame, Frederic is focused on creating a strong culture based on positivity, empathy, and hard work. As an inspirational leader who keeps his employees highly motivated, he believes that leadership is a long-term commitment to people and that passionate leadership is truly inspirational. His mantra for himself and for his team, "Har cheez mumkin hai," everything is possible. Welcome again, Frederic, and congratulations on Oriflame being voted one of the Femina Power Brands.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Primrose. And we are ecstatic about this nomination. And we are very appreciative to all of our brand partners out there in India, to Femina, to our consumers. And we really feel appreciative that our efforts towards women empowerment is recognized. Thank you.
Congratulations again. Let me begin by asking you, in your words, what is the brand essence of Oriflame?
Right. So the essence of Oriflame lies in our roots in Scandinavia, in Sweden. And we take much inspiration from the fauna and from the nature in this specific region. But it's also very much in how we view beauty. In Oriflame, we view beauty more than it just being topical. It is also how you feel about yourself, how healthy you are, and all those aspects together with how you look and feel is then the holistic beauty that Oriflame is really all about.
That's a very different sort of take on beauty and a very refreshing one, of course, so great. How would you say then, because you have this different sort of take on what beauty is, how are Oriflame different from other beauty products in the market?
I think we are, to put it very simply, inspired by nature, powered by science.
Oh, okay. Okay. So beauty is, of course, a burgeoning industry that sort of even worked right through the whole pandemic, which we'll come to later. And there are constantly new and international brands coming out into the market, into the space. How do you see Oriflame making or rather consolidating its space and growing year on year in this sort of scenario?
Mm-hmm. I think that's interesting. And I think that the beauty aspect of our business is one of the 2 key things that we do. And I think innovation, product development is very much in the forefront. And we have been able to grow sustainably here in India over the past 25 years. So we see that we will continue with this approach to the Indian subcontinent and the markets here. But we also know that the second part of what we offer in Oriflame is the opportunity to become an entrepreneur, with a global beauty community. And that part is something that we are focusing very much on now. And due to the pandemic, perhaps we fast-tracked this part of the business, and we are now 100% digital, and you can now start your Oriflame entrepreneurship business from the safety of your home with simply a mobile phone. So I think I'm very, very excited about the future here in India and elsewhere for Oriflame in the world.
Yes, I think that was a necessary change that everybody had to make in this space. And like that change, even the needs of women in terms of beauty have been constantly changing. So what, as a brand, do you focus on when designing and developing products to suit the needs of every woman, especially in this new space and in this new time?
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good question. I think when we look at beauty products, and we look at the consumers of today, we see that there are much greater demands on products being ethically produced, products being eco-friendly, fair trade, etc., etc. And that's where Oriflame, we have been working in the forefront here for decades. So for us, that we now see an upshift as consumers also become more and more aware about the fact that private corporations do indeed have a responsibility to the greater community in which they operate. Once we see that now, this is only but beneficial for Oriflame.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in all this, of course, you have a range of product categories. Can you tell us a little on something that you're focusing on, especially now, and why you have chosen that to be the object of focus?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at the moment our focus lies very much in health and well-being, in that aspect of beauty, because I think we established earlier that beauty is more than how you just look.
Yeah.
So that's a key focus for us. Another focus is to continue with our innovative approaches to skincare, with key ingredients found in nature, powered by science in a laboratory, in order to get the best maximum output on natural ingredients. So I think that's where our focus has been over the past 5 years, and it will continue to be in the coming years as well.
Sounds good. So, of course, you spoke about it a little before this, but let's focus a little more on it. The beauty industry witnessed a paradigm shift during the pandemic. What were your thoughts on it as it unfolded and it changed and it went beyond, the 1 month that we thought it would be first and went on?
Yeah, I think that overall, I'm very grateful that Oriflame had already several years pre-pandemic started making that transition to become online. We have our own applications, etc., etc. And so that was that was 95% done for us. When the pandemic came, let's not consider the first couple of months when everything was in lockdown, but let's look at the purchase behaviors now, or the needs now, perhaps. I see that we can meet all of those needs. A consumer can sit at home safely, place an order with Oriflame, get it delivered the very next day, safely, contactless delivery. And I kind of feel that the entire world caught up with digitalization. And now everybody is at par, kind of.
So that must have opened a lot of different avenues for you, both in terms of the women who are working as part of the whole family for Oriflame, as well as the consumers of the end product. So can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's say that pre-pandemic, a majority of customer interactions happened physically, face-to-face, either one-on-one or one-to-many. Yeah. And when that no longer was possible actually Oriflame, we closed our offices on the 18th of March. I think the lockdown happened 24th officially, but that wasn't possible and hasn't still been possible right now, of course, in the light of safety. But that our brand partners and entrepreneurs have so quickly adapted to the virtual aspect of being the same type of entrepreneur, building the same type of business, but now doing this virtually. I think that speed with which that transformation happened, I think, was astonishing to see.
Yeah. And your learnings in terms of business growth during the year 2020. For many people it was a washout, but for many people it was a great opportunity for learning and sort of honing our insights into consumer behavior and the changes that we need to make. So could you tell us a little about how that worked for you?
Sure. I think that there are several learnings, but let's pinpoint some of the most obvious ones. The office centricity, which used to be there in the light of many businesses and ours also, of course, that office centricity is now gone. We have reduced our number of offices here in India significantly. We started already last year pre-pandemic, but even more so during the pandemic. And that frees up cash for Oriflame to invest in other segments of the business, which will now be needed: digitalization, apps, etc., etc. So that's one aspect. Another aspect is this with travels. We are a global company, and we used to travel left, right, and center, internationally, domestically, and that used to be a large cost on our profit and loss statement. We have now noticed that, hey, we can do a majority of meetings virtually going forward. And in fact, I have said also we should not travel for purposes of just making business reviews. Those can easily be done on Zoom or Teams or whatever platform one uses. But the travel should be aimed towards building culture. That is very difficult, I find, to do online or virtually. That kind of has to be done physically. So we will, of course, not cut all travels, but we will make sure that when we travel, it makes sense for our business and it generates culture and results.
Absolutely. So as we've spoken about through this discussion, Oriflame has just celebrated 25 years in India. So congratulations again on that. That is a great, on that front as well, congratulations, very much due. Any specials in the pipeline for the consumer post this milestone?
I think absolutely. And for all our loyal brand partners, and we have lakhs and lakhs of brand partners today in India, we have launched a bunch of new initiatives for our brand partners with special discounts and bonuses, etc., etc. For the consumer, we are continuing coming out with new products. Already now in January, we launched a new baby care range, and we will continue making sure that our high quality products at affordable prices maintain their market dominance as today.
Sounds good. And of course, I'm sure during the pandemic, everyone has had a lot of time to think about the future. What do you think is the future for Oriflame, both internationally as well as in India?
I think the future looks very bright for us, and our industry, like many industries, I think go through these cyclical transformation years. And I think last year, 2020, was definitely one of those. And we can see our industry of social selling now being more relevant than ever, because you can actually do this completely digitally from the safety and convenience of your own home. And I think, and as you also pointed out, Primrose, beauty products are here to stay, and we just see the beauty industry growing year on year. And so yeah, I'm excited about the future.
Future looks bright, certainly. And you've been, Frederic, a little personal question. You've been in India for a while now, I assume. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on India and on Indian beauty, and how Oriflame is how does that all sort of dovetail together?
Mm-hmm. I've been physically living in India for 5 years and probably worked with India for 15 years. So I have some relevant experience, I think. And I think one has to look at India as a continent of various locations under one country, and the diversity in unity and so forth. And that makes India so interesting. And beauty has a very clear and long cultural importance in India.
Absolutely.
And I therefore feel that when Oriflame chose to go to India 25 years ago, as opposed to go to China, for instance, at that time, that was the right decision. And we are now a large company here, and we have a large, loyal consumer base. And I think the future is very, very promising for India, for Oriflame, at large. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Frederic, for that very enlightening discussion. Congratulations once again on Oriflame's 25 years in India, and of course, for being voted onto the Femina Power Brands list. Thank you so much for your time and all your insights.
Thank you very much, Primrose. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.